Hello friends, it's Miss Dawn, and today in art we're going to be talking about neutral colors. Neutral colors, you don't see them on the color wheel. You see them all around you. If you see that window behind me, right there, it's brown, it's a neutral color. My skin tone is a neutral color. My hair is a neutral color. So you see neutral colors everywhere. Now, you can make neutral colors from the colors on the color wheel if you blend colors that are complementary. So for example, if you blend green and red, or if you blend orange and blue, or if you blend yellow and purple, you'll get a neutral color. Neutral colors are also all those gray colors that you get when you mix black and white. So to explore neutral colors, we're going to do a little experiment, and we're going to be using some neutral colored markers. Now I've got these Crayola markers. These are water-based markers. So a marker like a Sharpie or a permanent marker is not going to work for this. It needs to be a water-based or washable marker. It doesn't have to be washable as long as it's water-based. And you're going to want to put something underneath what you're doing. Could be anything, just something that's okay if it gets some color on it. And you're going to need some water and a paintbrush. If you don't have a paintbrush, you can use a Q-tip, something to get things wet. And this is actually on a napkin. And the other examples that I did were on paper towels. Now, these other examples I did are on paper towels that were folded in half. Okay, so this is one that I did, and you can see that it's very abstract. I was just following the design that was on the paper towel. And then if I open it up, you can see it goes all the way through. So I actually folded the paper towel before I started drawing on it. So that was experiment number one. And what I discovered, if I show it to you again, do you see all this blue? That was actually in the black marker. So that was kind of interesting. And so experiment number two, if you look to your right, there's a picture of an owl. And this is what happened to the owl. And so if I open it up, this side right here was actually the back. And it sort of still looks like an owl or some sort of creature, but really spread out. Now I'm showing you these because I don't want you to get like shocked when you do this and the colors spread. The whole idea is to see the colors spread and try and see some different neutral colors. Now this one, again, this was done with black, but you see a lot of blue. Blue's not exactly a neutral color, but black can often have other colors hidden in it, and this one had some blue hiding in it. So this would be considered what we call a cool black. And then, you know, a warm black might have some browns or warm colors. And of course, brown is a warm color. So this one, I just did little ovals and circles, and this is what happened when I added the water. But these do, I'm looking at where I just had this sitting on my little notebook, and these do, they are messy, and they will spread, and that's the whole idea, is to see what happens when the color spreads. So I'm just going to hold this up so you can see it. So this is what I did. This was a napkin, so this one, we'll see how different this is from the paper towel. And I started just taking my marker, and there's a pattern on this napkin, and I just sort of went over the pattern on the napkin, sort of like my first experiment with the paper towel. Okay, so I'm just kind of following the pattern that's already on there. Okay, and so you can do whatever you like. Like I said, this is just sort of an experiment. Just sort of play around with neutral colors, and then if you wanted to, you can try this with colors that aren't neutral afterwards and get sort of a tie-dye effect. But it's interesting to see what happens when those colors spread out. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my paintbrush, or if you don't have a paintbrush, you can use a Q-tip, and I'm just going to get those colors wet. And the reason why we're doing this on a napkin or a paper towel rather than paper is you want those colors to spread out. So you see what kinds of colors we get when those neutral colors sort of spread out. You can kind of see some color changing going on. And once again, you can see how that black starts to release some blue as I go over my design. Okay, so this is not going to be a neat and tidy kind of a thing. Again, you want to put something underneath so you're not getting color everywhere. And I just want to see what happens as those colors spread out onto that napkin or paper towel. Alright, and on this one you can still kind of see that pattern. It's not, I think my paper towel was a little bit more absorbent, so it spread more than the napkin is doing. And this one, I'm going to stop right there and let you take a look at it. Now, if I flip it over, you can see how it goes all the way through. Now, it's wet right now. I would not recommend doing this while yours is wet. I would wait till it's dry, but I just want to show you how you open it up, and then you kind of see, this one actually is folded a couple of times. You know, it could tear. So I'm trying to be careful doing this, but you can see how when you unfold that napkin or paper towel, that pattern goes through and repeats, so it has sort of a kaleidoscope effect. Okay, so since we're studying neutral colors, I want you to start off and find some neutral colored markers. And then if you want to try and make a neutral color by mixing a couple of complementary colors, so for example orange and blue, and see what happens there, give that a try. Or if you want to try and do rainbow tie-dye, you can give that a try as well. Now, also on the right of this video, you will see 2 examples of art that are from the North Carolina Museum of Art. And I chose those because they are examples of art that the artist chose to use neutral colors. And so I want you to notice how they use pattern and texture to make those neutral colors a little more interesting. And I just wanted to give you a few examples of how they're used in art. So again, neutral colors are all around us, and you will notice them now that I've pointed them out to you. And I hope you have fun doing some color experimenting with your markers and your paper towels. Have fun, and I'll see you next time.